The Lions have achieved a milestone, most wins in franchise history. Teams are locking up playoff spots like hotcakes. The Packers are in, the Ravens in. There are still 2 playoff spots available in the AFC and 4 in the NFC. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. You know, I've been microdosing with reality lately and I don't care for it. I'd rather collapse into the warm mahogany inlay of yet another football-fueled NFL roast.
The broadcast gushed about Bo Nix's maturity. He's been 24 since he was 5 years old. Bo knows Golden Girls. He was dating them. Sean Payton went with the hot-hand approach at running back, featuring a committee of frostbite. The Chargers called for a fair catch with an empty clock, invoking an ancient NFL rule not seen since Al Michaels built the pyramids. They called it a free kick, despite watching it on a paid streaming service. Darius Davis put the Chargers up late, and they went for 2. Joshua Palmer tipped the ball to himself and broke out a protractor for an angle that would have made a smooth criminal proud. 45 degrees. The mist rolled in, and players were getting picked off by prehistoric nightmare creatures like Dean Spanos. It directly affected Jim Harbaugh's ability to floss. Justin Herbert got banged up, so they patched him together with Gorilla Glue. Personally, I would have gone with wrapping paper. It was a nice idea, but Herbert got stuck to Khalil Mack for 20 minutes and one uncomfortable conversation at the urinal. Harbaugh went down to the bone on his pinky finger. Pinkies are a delicacy in the Harbaugh house, and the main reason no one can clean their ears after a dip in the pool. One of the refs promoted his side hustle as a DJ. I hope he plays my favorite song, Unce, Unce, Unce. Head ref Clay Martin did a little on-the-field crop dusting and blamed it on someone else. How are the pipes, Clay? Can we get back to football now?
Okay.
Welcome to the world's largest karate class. When last we saw Patrick Mahomes, he was limping off the field like someone replaced his bones with jelly. But he was back, running wild again. Apparently, he doesn't need ankles to run. They're a luxury joint. They wrapped him in duct tape like my Christmas presents and shoved him back out there. Xavier Worthy had a big day, picking up first downs covered in chalk like he just got off the blackboard again solving complex equations or drawing on the driveway again. The man loves a good mural. It made up for Travis Kelce, who replaced all his fingers with thumbs. C.J. Stroud set the tone early with his first interception. On the second one, he got creative, leaving his feet. It was a metaphor for making ungrounded decisions and a promo for his new garage-based sitcom, Shitty Mechanics. Stop telling me in English there's a Spanish-language version available. I don't understand you. Derrick Henry put a dent in the Steelers' foreheads. I wouldn't want to tackle him either. It seems easier to climb on his back and steer him in the opposite direction by yanking on his ears.
Derrick Henry's certainly not known for his hands.
That's not what Mrs. Henry says. Zay Flowers had 100 yards on the day and suffered a stage 1 clinger.
Baby, please don't go. You complete me.
Todd Monken lost his mind.
Maine! Maine! Holy shit, she's a weasel.
Cordero Patterson headbutted the camera, which looked cool, but our cameraman died immediately. It was Micahel Penix Jr.'s first pro start. The future is here, and it's left-handed. Penix played well, -1 unfortunate interception. Kyle Pitts beauty splashed it to the defense. You athletically gifted butterbrain. That's why no one ever targets you, Kyle. With your stupid trampoline hands, he should have thrown it to Brad Pitt. Kirk Cousins was spotted on the sideline, serving hors d'oeuvres. The announcers were dressed in ugly Christmas sweaters. Daryl Johnston looked like Santa's accountant. But nothing could be uglier than Drew Lock's play. He had 2 pick-sixes and turned the ball over 3 times. Matthew Judon danced like the ball was his Penix Jr. Happy holidays, Giants. You just got the longest losing streak in team history. The Lions didn't need healthy starters to beat the Bears. All they needed was a pulse. And to be there when Rome Odunze fumbled. He was a slippery little fumble buddy, responsible for 2 turnovers. Jahmyr Gibbs scored a touchdown and did that dance I do every time I have cake. The Lions were running plays like magic tricks, faking fumbles just for a prestige in the end zone. For my next trick, I'll make Detroit's water potable. Oh, Lions, your subterfuge is legendary. Show me another one where you bounce a pass off a ref's head or throw the receiver with the ball. Thank God nobody scored in the fourth quarter. I'm in the middle of Eat, Pray, Love, and I have to know which one she does next. It was Kyler Murray versus Bryce Young, two of the tiniest quarterbacks in the league. Not to belittle them, they're little enough already. When Bryce Young runs, he looks like a mouse that stole a hunk of cheese. This game went to overtime, and I think we all accidentally agreed to receive text messages about it. It's the fine print that gets you. They kept saying the Cardinals were eliminated from the playoffs, as if they were ever truly in contention. That would be like eliminating me from Margot Robbie's dating pool. It was an honor just to be delusional. Aaron Rodgers hit Davante Adams for a score. He's only one touchdown away from 500, and 9 away from tying best friend and volleyball enthusiast Brett Favre. He got into it with one of the Rams coaches for smelling like pickles. This was Tyler Higbee's first game back. He missed a year after tearing his alphabet ligaments, and a brief stint after a train conductor camp. You gotta have hobbies. The Jets never punted in this game. They're all gas, no brakes, which explains why they crashed and burned. This game made my head hurt. Jalen Hurts left this game after a cup of coffee and a concussion. Kenny Pickett was the captain now, which made Eagles fans sweat from locations previously unknown to do so. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was ejected for talking shit. Whatever happened to I'm rubber and you're glue? Despite 5 freaking turnovers, the Commanders took this game over. Jaden Daniels threw for 5 touchdowns, gifting a pair to Olamide Zaccheaus and Jamison Crowder, the Tango and Cash of unheralded wide receivers. The announcers called the Browns quarterback DTR. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is an 8-syllable name. Ain't nobody got time for that. Joe Burrow's name is nice and short, like his seasons. Burrow had another 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, belly flopping like a drunk coworker at a holiday party. He was getting women pregnant just by pointing at them. Thank you, Joe! Immaculate reception. The Browns fell short again. The only thing fans want for Christmas was a length of rope. Well, hello, Concussion Santa. C.T. Eason's greetings. It was a redemption story for Jonathan Taylor, with over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He didn't drop the ball this time until he was in the men's room. Mason Rudolph was picked off 3 times. Hell, I could do that, said Will Levis. Certainly a tough day for Mason, but what do you expect from a man named after a jar? The Titans brought Jeffrey Simmons in as a blocker, which is like having a Buick as your fullback. I was confused by the Bud Light commercial for children.
Bud Light.
This is not how I thought we'd fight childhood obesity, but okay. There were 3 former Jets quarterbacks at this game. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, and Mark Sanchez in the booth. There was also a strong likelihood Zach Wilson was working the parking lot as an attendant. Darnold was painting the field with Justin Jefferson again. 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Vikings were flagged for an illegal formation. Please let it be a pelican. It's a majestic bird, and it deserves some recognition. Smith was picked off late, and I gotta ask, do they rehearse this together or separately? They're terribly out of sync. Man with only first names, Josh Allen fed James Cook early and often. Cook had 100 yards and a pair of scores. It was another big day for a receiver named after a baby sock, Kayshon Boutte. He had 95 yards and a touchdown. Side note, Boutte was also on my Christmas list. Drake May tossed the ball in reverse, and Ramondre Stevenson got popped like a pimple. It was a slop fest in the Buffalo cold. Drake May frosted his pants. The Patriots turned the ball over 5 times, but it's like Coach says, dry eyes, frozen heart, can't feel my fingers. Welcome to the opposite of the playoffs. The Jaguars and the Raiders are in a race to hit bottom. It was like watching Highlanders fight with pool noodles, and somehow they both cut their own heads off. Mac Jones was intercepted, and the Raiders immediately fumbled it. No play this season embodied these 2 teams more. If only Mac Jones could have sacked himself. Alexander Madison, which I'm told is not a Lin-Manuel Miranda musical, scored a touchdown. He deserves to be on the $10 bill. They said Tom Coughlin calls Doug Peterson and Antonio Pierce all the time. I've been getting a lot of calls lately from unknown numbers too. Is Tom Coughlin trying to call me? Leave a voicemail, Tom. I don't think anyone won this. It's hard to grade the techniques of their dives when the pool is empty. Tua Tagovailoa threw his 100th touchdown pass. Brock Purdy threw a pair of scores to some guy, and Deebo Samuel. He's so in tune with Brock Purdy that they can finish each other's
Finishes.
Yeah.
Finishes. Finishes.
sentences. The Dolphins were fresh off their win for rectangularest football field. Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel have very little in common except their love for Venn diagrams. Devon A-Chain went for 120 yards and a touchdown. He was supposed to run the clock out, but he's so damn fast he beat it. CeeDee Lamb was picking up yards, but he was playing in pain. He must have seen the Cowboys' record. Ezekiel Elliott saw some action. Hard emphasis on some. 1 carry for 1 yard and 1 touchdown. The best work he's done since playing Ewok number 4 in Return of the Jedi. So is this a Cowboy Doctor or Dr. Cowboy? Defensive tackle Vita Vea dropped into coverage and tackled Jake Ferguson. It looked like he was tackled by a car. Rashad White is 2 letters away from being Chad White. Rashad had the ball stolen on the Bucs' final drive. Deron Bland provided the thievery and extinguished all hope. There was nothing left but Pilates. The Saints put their quarterbacks in the freezer to prepare for Lambeau. Turns out they should have left them there. And also, thanks for the picture. What producer heard that story and said, pick or it didn't happen? We know what freezers look like. Halftime saw Jason Kelsey eat the ass out of a giant baby doll. 3 different running backs scored for the Packers, 2 more than necessary. The Saints' cupboards were bare. No starters, no figgy pudding. 2 receivers dropped the ball on the same play. They were led by victim of genetics, Spencer Rattler, who looks like an unfinished drawing. Spencer Rattler was not the answer, unless the question was, what is that smeared across the 50-yard line? The Saints didn't score a single point all night. They traveled 1,000 miles just to lay an egg. No one needs rewards points that much. I hope the Packers at least gave them some new socks and a bowl of soup. I know they're not homeless, but this game was televised, and I'm guessing more than a few locks were changed that night. Who dat say they gonna sleep on a friend's couch tonight?
And now the soft pretzel of the week.
Yummy.
This week, the pretzel goes to Fox sideline reporter Laura Achman. Every week, she looks like she woke up after the world's greatest party and ran to work. And I'm not even making fun of her. She brings a certain unexpected joy each week that I can't quite wrap my brain around. I feel like there's a whole story we're missing out on and I want in. But no, keep the mystery alive. I guess it's better this way. Enjoy your pretzel, Laura. Thank you for watching Shutout Football. Have a holiday. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.